Howdy folks! Thanks for tuning into the video, and thank you all for helping me hit my first YouTube milestone, which is 100 subscribers. That means that there are more people subscribed to my channel than just my friends and family, and to all of you, I really appreciate it. Hopefully you would continue to enjoy my videos and the content that I produce. Life in Japan right now is going well for me. I do think that I'm starting to get past the honeymoon phase that they talk about in orientation. It has started feeling less like an adventure and more like I am just living my life in Japan. So I am starting to kind of experience a few more days where I'm just kind of getting through my day, which is not unexpected because that's sometimes just how life works. I will say that it is still an enjoyable experience. I am still happy that I have moved here. It is just no longer every day something new and unique is happening to me, and it's exciting all the time. It has just now become more of a normal life here in Inan. So that is kind of a brief update there. It is the fall now, so leaves are starting to change. It hasn't quite gotten to the point where it's super impressive colors, but I have noticed that a handful of trees are starting to turn. I suspect either next week or the week after, I'll do a walk out in nature with more fall colors. So look forward to that. It has started getting colder now. All of the ACs have switched to heat. I now have a big fuzzy blanket that I use when I'm sitting in my living room to keep warm so that I don't have to have the AC on all the time on heat mode. And I am turning on heat at night to keep the room warm. I started adding some heat reflective or heat keeping things to the windows. The blackout curtains that I've got over here are both light reflective and they're supposed to keep heat in. So hopefully that will help with that kind of thing. But that being said, I did want to try something a little bit different today for the video and try my hand at doing something that's a little bit more informative about something that I have learned in Japan and didn't know previously about. And in this case, I want to talk a little bit about Kagura dance. So Kagura is a traditional performance dance based around the Shinto religion. It consists of dancers and musicians retelling a legend from that religion. It's a very stylized manner of speaking. They have a very specific tone of voice that they use, and they use older Japanese. The folk music that is performed alongside it is live, and it is drums and flute. And some percussion sometimes, and then they have dancing that happens in the story that is either kind of a slow meditative dance or a very frantic kind of actiony, hopping, leaping, and almost mock battle kind of dance. And most of these stories, because they're religious legends, involve heroes fighting demons, and it's very, very impressive. They wear super cool masks and colorful costumes. I learned about Kagura because they had a big performance at our town hall where they invited 4 different Kagura groups to each perform one scene of about 20 to 30 minutes that was a legend from the religion. The groups came from all over Shimane, including the group that is the high school club for Inan. So it was very neat to watch various age groups performing Kagura. The costuming was amazing, and it was just great. So the performances, as I said earlier, are traditional legends in Shinto religion, which means that the expectation going into a Kagura performance is that everybody already knows the story. It's not like going to a musical or a theater performance or a movie where part of the enjoyment comes from learning and seeing the story and finding out what happens. You kind of go into the performance knowing what's going to be shown to you. And in fact, at the performance they put on in Inan, their program consisted of the legend that each group was telling being laid out in front of you. So, for example, one of the legends that they were retelling is part of their creation mythos where Amaterasu locks herself in a cave and the priests and gods put on a performance to entice her to come out. And so you know going in what each performance is about in theory. So that means the enjoyment of the performance is not necessarily the same as a movie where you're what's going to happen next, but rather it's about watching the skill of the performers, watching the dance and the music and all of that, and seeing it happen. And in fact, frequently people will go and see the same stories being performed by either the same troupe or different troupes to see people become more and more skilled at the challenging aspects about it. The person I sat next to at the performance I went to was telling me that he has spent the last 20 years attending Kagura because he loves the art, and he knows every different story that is performed by the different troupes, and that he frequently will talk during the performances with his wife about what is coming up next and what she should be paying attention to. It is also worth noting that it is not, at least the performances that I've been to, do not feel like a, how to say this? They don't feel like a high art performance where you have to be quiet and you don't, you sit still and absorb what's happening. Audience cheering sometimes happens. People will stand up and go get food from the stall. It is much more of a kind of a casual entertainment from what I saw. That's not to say that you wouldn't have high-class versions of it, but it does seem to be more of a community event than that. From what I was able to see, there are actually several actions that are common across performances. There is a thing that they will do where they will stand with one leg up with the foot against their leg, and then they will use their heel and the ball of their foot to slowly rotate around without putting their other foot down and holding up their props. And it's very impressive and physically demanding. There is also very commonly in the stories that involve revealing a demon, a quick change action that will happen where one of the actors will turn their face away from the crowd, and when they turn back, they will be wearing the mask that represents them as a demon or an evil spirit to the heroes. Overall, I found Kagura to be an incredibly enjoyable experience, and am thankful that there was a performance in my town that I was able to see with so many different stories all in one place. I have been to a couple of other festivals now where Kagura was being performed on one of the stages, and generally it seems like they have one group performing one story for the festival. So, getting to see 4 in one night was a lucky event that I am happy happened. If you're ever able to come to Japan for an extended period of time, I do think that Kagura is worth watching and worth planning around getting to attend. I am unsure what the best way to find out where it is. I'm still struggling with that of being able to find events in my town that I can go and do. I usually will find out about stuff because one of my coworkers will tell me about something that's happening the upcoming weekend. But if you are able to see a Kagura performance, it's definitely worth it. Thank you all for watching the video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. And until next time, safe travels.